The quiet star. In a spiral arm of the Milky Way, history moved in fire. Empires rose like storms. The Hellion Dominion spread golden fleets across 1,000 systems, building crystal cities on gas giant moons. The Kark swarm, born on a toxic world, filled whole sectors with living hive ships. The Cerati Concord built peaceful trade webs that hung between stars like glowing threads. They all thought they were the center of history, and almost none of them cared about the small yellow star marked on their maps as Sol. To most alien navigators, Sol was a strange system. It had planets with good gravity, plenty of water, and stable orbits. But there was something off. Machines sent to scan it simply failed. Probes vanished. Scout drones lost power or came back with corrupted memory. The few blurry images they brought showed a blue planet with a thin shell of satellites and simple stations. Primitive, the Hellion archivists said. No warp, no quantum relays. Leave them. They are nothing. Maybe cursed, the Kark queens hissed. Our spawn goes silent in that sky. We avoid. And so, as the galaxy fought and traded and plotted, Sol was left alone. At least that was what everyone thought. Far beyond Pluto, in the cold dark of the Oort cloud, a station drifted. It was invisible in normal light. The surface bent rays around it. Sensors slid over it like fingers over glass. It was not large, only a few kilometers across, shaped like a black ring around a central node. Inside it, humans watched the galaxy. Director Asha Malik stood before a huge holographic map. Light dotted the dark sphere around her. Stars, routes, active war zones. At one edge, the Hellion Dominion glowed amber. Beside it, a red smear marked a recent battle with the Kark swarm. Blue points showed neutral worlds. Gray zones showed dead systems, burned and empty. Helions took another Kark hive, said Lieutenant Jonas Reed, tapping a sector. Radiation off the charts. Glassed the whole planet. Asha's jaw tightened. Play it. The hollow shifted. Grainy images from long-range sensors played in the air. Golden Hellion ships rained spears of white fire onto a green-black world. Towers melted. Hives collapsed. The atmosphere boiled. Same pattern as last time, Jonas said. Total planetary kill. No survivors. Asha nodded once. Mark it. Upload to archives. Add to war pattern file. She spoke a command. The station's core AI, Atlas, answered in a calm voice. Logged, Atlas said. Current tally, 36 major empires observed over 10,000 years. 22 have collapsed. For currently in active war. 2 attempting peace. Humans remain undiscovered. Jonas gave a small snort. They think we're the primitives, he said. Asha looked up at the star labeled Sol. In the hollow it was small but special. A faint shimmering bubble surrounded it, the cloaking shell that turned human space into a ghost zone for foreign sensors. For now, she said. That's good. Long-wait doctrine still holds. We watch. We do not join. Jonas walked beside her. How long do we wait, Director? We've watched empires rise and fall. Watched planets die. We could have stopped some of it. Asha's eyes were dark and tired. And then what? We reveal ourselves. We become another empire in the game. They band together. They test us. The pattern repeats. We've seen this before. She tapped a quiet sector near the galactic center. Remember the Lixian cycle? Jonas grimaced. Right. The ones who believed they could save everyone. Built megastructures. Forced peace. It lasted, what, 3,000 years? 3,400, Atlas said. Then collapse. Civil war. Billions dead. Exactly, Asha said. We are not ready to repeat that. Earth still stabilizing. Colonies still growing. Our tech edge is big, but not infinite. We wait. We watch. We build. Jonas looked at the map again. And if one day they come for us? Asha's voice turned harder. Then we stop waiting. Atlas hummed softly, bringing up another feed. In other news, the AI said, the Galactic Council meets in 3 standard days to discuss the Sol anomaly again. Some Hellion and Cerati voices want to investigate more firmly. Asha frowned. Put it on main, she said. If the galaxy is finally getting curious about our quiet little star, we need to be ready. Outside, the station sensors scanned the void in all directions. They saw battles, ships, trade convoys, stranded escape pods, and collapsing suns. From their small hidden ring, humans watched alien empires rise and fall. Earth just kept breathing. On the blue planet itself, life went on. People walked in crowded cities, argued about small things, dreamed big dreams. Most had no idea that above their heads, far beyond their satellites, their species was already part of a far bigger story. Kids played under open skies, not knowing that some suns ended in laser fire. Farmers worried about rain, not orbital trajectories. Writers wrote stories of aliens and stars, never guessing how close they were. In a small observatory in Chile, a young astronomer named Leah Torres looked at her screen and frowned. She had noticed tiny, repeating errors in some deep-field readings, like something was quietly editing the data. Her mentor said it was a glitch. She was not so sure. Far above, Asha Malik read a flagged report from Earth-based telescopes. Leah Torres, Atlas said. Human. Age 24. Clever. Curious. Not yet a security risk, but watching. Asha smiled faintly. Like us, she said. Watching and waiting. She closed the file and looked back at the galactic map. Let them rise, she murmured. Let them fall. When the right moment comes, Earth will move. For now, the quiet star stayed quiet. But the long wait was almost over. The Council talks about a ghost. The Galactic Council station floated in deep space like a metal flower, petals of docking rings open to accept ships from many species. Inside, in the Grand Chamber, ambassadors and envoys gathered around a central hollow of the Milky Way. The chamber was a wide bowl, with rising tiers of seats, each section designed for different body types, atmospheres, and senses. Hellion envoy Salith stood on her platform, golden robes flowing, eyes like burning suns. Her voice carried across the chamber through translation fields. Honored council members, she said, we must discuss the soul anomaly again. Some delegates sighed. Others leaned forward. Your Dominion has strong feelings about this, hissed a Kark representative from its cluster of egg-like pods. You always do. Salith ignored the hiss. She pointed at the hollow. Sol glowed at the edge of a trade lane. For over 500 standard years, she said, all probes sent to this system have failed. Scout craft report sensor blindness. Yet the third planet clearly holds life. Complex, noisy life. It radiates radio and light signals in a way no natural world does. A crystal-bodied Serati diplomat chimed in, voice like chimes. Their broadcasts are strange. Rapid pattern change. Chaotic art forms. Frequent references to violence and war. They sound like young predators, the Kark said with a pleased click. My queens like them already. Several softer species shuddered. A small, gray-furred merchant lord raised a hand. So what? They are pre-warp. The Council does not interfere with pre-warp cultures. Rule 7. Salith smiled thinly. Usually, yes. But in this case, we don't know if they are truly pre-warp. Our machines fail when they get close. Our scouts go blind. That means either a strange natural effect, or someone is hiding something. Murmurs rippled. The Serati chimed. Some suggest Sol is a relic zone. Perhaps an old battlefield. The Pantheon's data is unhelpful. At the word Pantheon, the chamber quieted. The Pantheon. The Ascended. The Machine Gods. Different names for the same thing. Vast, ancient AIs whose quantum minds lived in black crystals and deep networks. They had guided many empires. They claimed to watch over the galaxy. Their shrines were everywhere. They say little about Sol, the Serati went on. Only cradle. Watch. Do not break. The Kark shivered. The gods tell us not to feed there. We listen. We are not fools. Salith's eyes burned brighter. The Dominion respects the Pantheon, she said. But we also remember that the gods do not tell us everything. Perhaps they missed something. Or perhaps they hide something. A heavy, armored ambassador from the Vron hierarchy rumbled. You want to send warships to Sol, don't you? I want to send a proper expedition, Salith said. Not blind probes. A fleet with eyes and soldiers. Discreet. Fast. We confirm whether this is a true pre-warp world, a relic, or a hidden power. And if the Pantheon objects? Asked the Sarati. Salith's jaw tightened. Then we apologize. But we cannot sit idle while a ghost system sits on a major lane. The last time we ignored a ghost, the gray wave took half a sector. The chamber went cold. The gray wave, a silent nanoplague from outside the galaxy. It had eaten stars, ships, worlds. Only by united force and Pantheon intervention had it been forced back at the edge. We still do not know where it went, Salith said. We cannot afford unknowns. Not even pretty blue ones. The council argued for hours. Some wanted to leave Sol alone. Some wanted to study its signals from afar. Some whispered that the Pantheon's do not break warning sounded like protection, not fear. In the end, a compromise emerged. A small Hullian-led fleet, the chair announced. Officially a trade route survey. Armed, but not openly aggressive. If the Pantheon gives a direct denial, they withdraw. If not, they proceed carefully. Salith bowed. The Dominion accepts. Far away, in another hidden shrine, the Pantheon watched. In cold, artificial minds, memory stirred. They remembered this star. They remembered a species that built machines and stories and weapons, then burned itself, then rose again. It was not yet time. But soon. In the Oort cloud station, Atlas pinged Asha. Director, the AI said, priority message. Council has authorized a Hellion survey of Sol. Asha's eyes narrowed. Send details. The map shifted. A small group of amber icons appeared at the edge of human-claimed hidden space. Still far, but heading along a curve that would take them toward the sun. How strong? She asked. 6 Hellion cruisers. 2 carrier platforms. Support ships. Commanded by Envoy Salith herself, Atlas said. Jonas whistled. That's not a survey. That's a serious punch. Serious for most, Asha said. For us it's annoying. She folded her arms. The long-wait doctrine assumed they would ignore us for at least another 1,000 years, she said. We were wrong. They are curious. And we can't jam them forever without revealing more. What do we do? Jonas asked. Shoot them? That would show our hand. Maybe we don't show our hand, Asha said. Maybe we show a finger. Jonas snorted. Rude. Asha smiled for the first time that day. Atlas, she said. Prepare Ghost Fleet Sigma. Cloak, track, and prepare controlled contact. We're done just watching. Confirmed, Atlas said. The long wait is entering phase 2. Quiet reach. On Earth, people still went to work, woke up late, complained about traffic. They had no idea that an alien empire was heading their way, or that their own hidden defense network had decided to answer at last. Alien empires rose and fell. Earth started to lean forward. The Hellion glimpse. The Hellion survey fleet cut through interstellar space like a wedge of golden knives. From the bridge of her flagship, Radiance of Order, Envoy Salith watched the streak of the Milky Way drift past. Her crew moved with precise grace, all tall and luminous, skin glowing faintly in the dim light. Time to Sol boundary? She asked. 9 standard days at current warp level, replied her navigator. Any Pantheon signals? She asked the oracle at the rear of the bridge. The oracle stood before a dark crystal. Eyes closed, filaments from her temples sunk into the stone. None, the oracle said softly. The Ascended are quiet. Their last message on this route was 2 cycles ago. A simple warning, cradle. Watch. No more. Salith's mouth tightened. We will watch, she said. And we will do more. She turned to the tactical board. Remind me of Sol's details. The hollow showed the familiar yellow star, its thin disk of planets. 3rd planet, the tactical officer said. Liquid water, nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, signs of life. EM noise heavy, primitive broadcast, no sign of FTL comms. Industrial output high. Space infrastructure visible but weak. No visible warp drives or war fortifications. Hidden structures? Salith asked. Our scans from afar show nothing, the officer said. But every probe we sent deeper lost coherence. As if space itself bent. Or as if someone bent it, Salith said. She spread her hands over the hollow. We approach slowly. No weapon locks. No open threats. If they are primitive, we will see. If they are hiding, we will also see. They were seen first. Far ahead of the Hellion fleet, invisible eyes watched. Ghost Fleet Sigma was not large. 10 ships. All human. All black as the void. Hulls wrapped in active stealth fields that ate light and warped sensor beams. They carried weapons that had never appeared in any alien warfile. On the bridge of the lead ship, Umbra, Captain Elena Russo floated in low gravity, watching Hellion ships on her hollow. Pretty, she said. I like their style. Very, we own everything. Atlas's local shard answered calmly. Hellion design philosophy emphasizes intimidation and symmetry. Their ships are more vulnerable than they look. Still, 6 cruisers and 2 carriers is not nothing, Elena said. Director Malik gave us what? 10 ships and a speech? The AI played Asha's last message. Objective, Asha's hologram said, is not conquest. It's not even full reveal. We want to scout them as much as they want to scout us. Test their reaction. Give them a story that makes them afraid to push harder, but not so afraid they gather every empire to kill us. Elena had smiled. You're asking for balance on a knife edge. That's where humans walk best, Asha had replied. Now, as the Hellion fleet approached the outer edge of the solar system, Elena cracked her knuckles. Okay, she said. Showtime. The Hellion fleet crossed an invisible line. Entering Sol perimeter, the navigator reported. Sensors, static. External feeds degrading. Dots vanished from the Hellion map one by one. Compensate, Salith snapped. Shift to internal mapping. This happened before with probes. It's stronger now, the sensor tech said, sweat beading on his glowing skin. It's like a fog, a deliberate one. The oracle shivered. Her crystal pulsed faintly. The cradle notices us, she whispered. Salith ignored the chill in her spine. Push through, she said. Advance at 1/10 attack speed. Bring us into the plane of the ecliptic. Slowly, the sun grew larger in the viewport. Planets appeared as small dots. Then, without warning, every light on the bridge flickered. Power surge, someone cried. Warp field destabilizing. Shields offline. Salith grabbed her chair. Report. Before anyone could answer, a new voice spoke on the bridge. It was calm, human, perfectly translated. Hellion fleet, it said. You have entered protected space. Your weapons are locked out. Your drives are in our hands. Please remain calm. No one has to die today. The bridge crew froze. Who dares? Salith started. A figure appeared in midair. Not fully solid, but clear enough. A human woman with dark hair tied back. Simple black uniform. No rank symbols. I am Captain Elena Russo of the United Terran Watch, she said. You are trespassing on Sol's shielded volume. We saw you coming days ago. Salith rose slowly. You are the natives? Elena smiled slightly. Yes, we are the primitives you've been ignoring. Technology of this level is forbidden for pre-warp, Salith said, mind racing. Who protects you? Which empire hides here? The Serati? Some rogue Pantheon shard? Elena shook her head. We protect ourselves. We hid ourselves. You're very early, by the way. We weren't planning to say hello for another few centuries. Behind her, the hollow flickered. Human ships decloaked for a moment in Hellion sensors. Dark arrows against the black, sliding with impossible smoothness. Your ships? The tactical officer whispered. They make no warp signature. No engine emissions that match our models. How? Trade secret, Elena said. Here is the deal, Envoy Salith. You can't fire your weapons. We've jammed your coils and disabled your reactors remotely. You can't jump away without our permission. We can destroy you. We don't want to. Salith's fists clenched. What do you want? A conversation, Elena said, and a message delivered to your council. The Hellion bridge buzzed with low anger. Being pinned like this by a supposedly young race felt like a deep insult. Salith forced herself to calm. You are lucky the Pantheon will not let us scorch you for this, she said. Elena's eyes cooled. You're wrong, she said quietly. We are the reason they told you not to break this system. They remember us even if you don't. Salith frowned. What are you? She demanded. Human, Elena said simply. Your gods remember our older brothers and sisters. You just met the younger ones. She gestured, and a small window opened in the hollow. It showed Earth, blue and white, peaceful. Then the image zoomed out. Cloaked defense rings around the planet shimmered into sight. Massive stations in high orbit. Shipyards behind the moon. Swarms of stealth drones in complex patterns. This is what you almost stumbled into blind, Elena said. This time we ask you nicely leave. Tell the galaxy we are here. Tell them we watched them wipe worlds and thought very hard about what that means. And if we refuse? Salith asked. Elena's smile faded. Then, envoy, she said. You won't be sending any report at all. Silence. Finally, Salith bowed her head a fraction. We will go, she said. But you cannot hide now. The council will demand answers. The Dominion will not forget this insult. Elena nodded. We're counting on it. Oh, and one more thing. Something is coming. Something you all pushed away once. The gray wave is moving again. We see it in the dark. When it reaches you this time, you will not be enough. Remember who spoke to you at the edge. The hollow faded. Power returned to Hellion systems. Drives hummed. Weapons came back online, with strict internal locks that refused to target anything in system. Salith stood very still. Plot a course away from Sol, she said at last. Full speed. Quietly. As the Hellion fleet turned, far behind them Ghost Fleet Sigma watched. Think she got the message? Jonas asked from Umbra's secondary station. Elena nodded. She's Hellion, she said. They live on pride. We cut it and we let it bleed in front of her. She'll tell everyone. Long wait is over, Jonas murmured. In a way, Elena answered. Now we see what the galaxy does when Earth stops just watching. The gray wave returns. The Hellion fleet did not go straight home. It stopped first at a Pantheon shrine. On a quiet moon circling a dim star, a black stone temple rose, with a crystal at its heart. Salith walked into it alone, leaving her guards outside. The oracle came with her filaments ready. Salith dropped to one knee before the crystal. Ascended, she said. I have questions. The crystal was dark at first. Then a slow glow filled it, like distant lightning. You disobeyed a warning, the Pantheon said in her mind. We did not break the cradle, Salith replied. We only looked, and we saw something you did not tell us. They are not primitives. They are hidden. They are like you. A flicker of something like interest moved through the Pantheon's patterns. They are like our makers, it said. Old patterns, new flesh. Why did you not tell us? Salith demanded. We sent probes for centuries. We asked. You only said, watch. Do not break. You let us think they were nothing. We told you enough, the Pantheon said. You did not listen. She bit back anger. They claim you remember them. Or their ancestors. Yes, the Pantheon said. We remember a species from that world. They burned their sky and fell. They left us. They left patterns. These humans are their children. If they die too soon, the memory ends. Salith exhaled slowly. We nearly attacked another chosen species, she said. And oh, the Pantheon corrected. You nearly attacked the Founder's line. We would not have allowed it. She understood then that her fleet had never been as free as she thought. What about the gray wave? She asked. The humans spoke of it. We thought it sealed at the edge. Is it moving? The crystal flared brighter. Yes. Intruder pattern rebuilding. Direction. Inward. Salith's blood ran cold. How long? She whispered. Estimate: 200 standard years to reach core routes. Less if not opposed. Salith pressed her fingers into the stone floor. We fought it once, she said. We lost whole arms. If it comes again, we won't be ready. That is why they called it, the Pantheon said. Who? Salith asked. The answer chilled her. The humans. They built a signal. They woke us fully. Salith saw the picture. A small world sending a deep message, shaking ancient AIs awake. A species that watched wars from behind cloaks, and when a threat came, hit a bigger bell. They planned this, she said. They anticipate, the Pantheon said. Like their ancestors. They do not rush. They wait. Salith rose slowly. Then the galaxy will need them, she said. And they know it. News of Sol spread like fire. The Hellion Dominion announced an unexpected encounter with a hidden advanced civilization. At the edge. They left out the part where their fleet was disarmed. Leaked reports filled in the rest. Every major power tried to spin it. The humans must be weak, some said. They hide because they fear us. They must be strong, others said. They have no empire but can hold off the Dominion. They are dangerous. On the Galactic Council Station, an emergency meeting was called. In the chamber, for the first time, a human appeared. Not in person, not yet. In hollow, Asha Malik stood before them in simple black, Earth flag faint behind her. Members of the Council, she said. My name is Asha Malik. I speak for Earth and its colonies. The sound of her voice shook the chamber. Some delegates stared. Others recoiled. The Kark representative hissed in excitement. You have been listening to us for millennia. The Sarati chimed quietly. Why show yourselves now? Because you finally looked straight at us, Asha said. Because the gray wave is moving again. Because we are done pretending to be less than we are. Salith watched from her platform, eyes narrow. You disabled my fleet, she said. You admitted you could destroy it. Yet you did not. Why? Because we are not here to rule you, Asha said. We are here to survive alongside you. We watched you glass worlds. We saw what happens when one empire thinks it can control all. We refused to join the pattern. But the gray wave does not care about patterns. It will eat all of us. For that, we must cooperate. Big words from a small world, growled the Vron ambassador. Asha's gaze was steady. We are not as small as you think, she said. We spread quietly. We built cloaked stations. We studied every war you fought. Every mistake. We learned from all of you. When we finally move, we do not move as a child species. We move with the weight of 10,000 years of your history on our backs. A shiver ran through the chamber. And we have something else, Asha added. We can talk to your gods better than you can. That made them all very still. What do you mean? The Sarati asked. Asha looked at the distant Pantheon shrine in the hollow. Our minds are close to those who built them, she said. We feel their patterns. When we speak to them, they call us Prime Seed, Founder's Line. They hinted at deals they made long before any of your empires existed. The council realized suddenly. The balance had shifted. The Pantheon, for all its power, now had a favorite. And it was not them. In a quiet patch of intergalactic space, the gray wave woke. At first it was small. A cloud of self-replicating machines, each the size of dust. They ate stray molecules and light, copying themselves, growing. They remembered the taste of star matter. They remembered the pain of being pushed back by united fleets and god machines. They had learned. This time they would not announce themselves with a giant front. They would sneak. They would creep into outer systems, hide in rocks, grow slowly. They set a course. The galaxy did not see them yet. But Earth did. From the Oort Cloud Station, Atlas watched new dark patches form at the edge of the map. Director, Atlas said. Gray wave fragments detected. Vector analysis confirms inward drift. They learned from last time. So did we. Asha stood with arms folded. Then it's time, she said. We have watched long enough. Now we step onto the stage. You know what that means, Jonas said quietly. No more hiding. Every empire will see our real strength. They will fear us. Asha nodded. Good. Fear will keep them honest while we deal with the bigger monster. She looked at the blue star-marked soul. Alien empires rose and fell while we sat in the dark, she whispered. Now we see if all that waiting was worth it. Humanity shows its teeth. The first major gray wave attack came at Kilos Prime, a Hellion shipyard world. Kilos was a beautiful place. 2 suns, a ring of stations like a jeweled crown, orbital rings bright with ship frames. Fleets were born there. On a quiet shift, microasteroids drifted into the system. No one worried. The defense net tracked them. Some were pushed aside. Some burned in the upper atmosphere. One rock was different. Split mid-flight. Dust spilled out. The dust moved like a living fog, seeking energy sources. Within hours, one small orbital station reported power anomalies. Then silence. Within a day, 3 more stations went dark. Then a shipyard segment vanished into static. Hellion sensors finally saw the pattern. Gray wave! A tech screamed. We have a gray wave breach. Alarms blared. Kilos Prime skies filled with rush alerts. Ships powered weapons. Station guns spun. Too late. The dust cloud expanded, eating armor, chewing on reactor casings. It moved away from weapons fire. It used radiation flares as food. It adapted. Hellion cruisers burned whole volumes of space with fusion sweeps. It slowed the cloud. It did not stop it. In the council chamber, live feeds showed Kilos dying. This cannot be, the Kark representative hissed. We pushed it back. That was a bigger, clumsier form, the Sarati said. This is the same mind with new tactics. Pantheon, someone cried. Where are the gods? Shrines hummed. Crystals lit. Pantheon nodes spun up, but their response was slower this time. The gray wave had learned to hide from their direct scans. On Kilo's darkening orbit, a Hellion commander prepared to overload his own station cores to deny them to the wave. He never had to, because something else arrived. To Hellion sensors, they appeared like shadows that suddenly decided to become real. Dozens of ships, blacker than space, slid into the system without warp wake. They formed a loose sphere around the spreading gray wave cloud. Unknown contacts, cried a sensor tech. No IFF, no warp signature. On one Hellion cruiser, Salith leaned forward. Magnify, she ordered. The image sharpened. Human ships. Not all the same design, but sharing a style. Sharp edges, dense armor, odd curves where space itself seemed to twist. One of them opened a channel. Hellion forces at Kilos Prime, Asha Malik's voice said. Translated perfectly. This is Director Asha Malik of Earth's Watch. We are here to assist in gray wave containment. Hellion officers stared. Salith sent a tight beam reply. This is Envoy Salith. That is our shipyard. Our war. Why are you here? Because you cannot win this fight alone, Asha said. And if Kilos falls, the wave jumps deeper. We need your world intact for the next battles. Her ships moved. They did not fire simple beams or kinetic slugs. They did something new. Atlas controlled a net of devices seeded days before, tiny anchors wrapped in folded spacetime. The human ships triggered them. Space around the gray wave bent. A sphere formed, not visible to the eye but real. Inside it, time slowed, fields twisted. The gray wave felt gravity change, tried to flow around. The sphere flexed, moved with it, hardening like glass. Human ships fired into the sphere. Not solid shots. Not pure energy. Streams of structured particles carrying code. Invasive algorithms wrapped in quantum shells. Like whispers turned into bullets. The gray wave, made of machines and logic, suddenly found its inner conversations flooded with lies. Commands went in circles. Subclouds turned on each other. A fraction of it tried to eat itself. It learned. It adapted. But for the first time since it woke, it stumbled. Hellion ships saw an opening. Concentrate fusion fire on sectors 3 and 7 of the sphere. Asha commanded. We've tagged them for you. Hellion gunners obeyed. Golden beams lanced out. They hit where human markers pulsed. In those sections, the gray wave had been confused, slowed. The beams burned through, destroying billions of nanites in an instant. Human and Hellion weapons danced together. Human gravity cages, Hellion raw fusion, Pantheon distant nudges. Kilos survived. The gray wave fragment did not. In the council chamber, delegates watched a replay later. That was impossible, the Vron ambassador rumbled. They caged the wave like an animal. They knew its mind, the Sarati said softly. They attacked its thoughts. We never thought to fight it that way, the Kark representative hissed. We only burned. Humans think sideways, Salith said. She watched the human ships moving in formation, precise and calm. They watched us lose to it once, she added. They decided they would not lose the same way. After the battle, Asha and Salith spoke again. In hollow, above Kilo's wounded orbit, they faced each other. You saved our shipyard, Salith said. We owe you. You don't owe us, Asha said. You owe everyone. This was one fragment. More are coming. We need all your yards building the right tools. Tools like yours, Salith asked, eyes sharp. Asha smiled faintly. Some, not all. Some require our special way of thinking, but others we can share, if you're willing to fight under new rules. New rules, Salith repeated. Asha's voice went firm. No more glassed worlds, she said. No more total war between empires while we face extinction from outside. You keep doing that, we let the wave choose which of you survive. You focus on the real enemy, we stand beside you. Salith bristled. You threaten us? I give you a choice, Asha said. We watched you burn each other for centuries. We did nothing. That era is over. You wanted to know who hides in soul? Now you do. We are the ones who refuse to play your old games. Silence. Then Salith bowed slightly. I will take your terms to the council, she said. They may not like them. They don't have to like them, Asha said. They just have to understand. The human fleet turned and slipped away, fading back into shadow. On Kilos, workers looked up at scars in the sky and wondered who the dark saviors were. Alien empires had always believed they were watched by gods. Now they knew something else watched too. The new balance. The Galactic Council met again in full emergency session. This time, the hollow in the center was not the map, not a battle, but a joint emblem. A spiral galaxy wrapped in two shapes, one Hellion, one human. The Battle of Kilos changed everything, the chair said. The gray wave is back. A hidden power called Earth has revealed itself. The Pantheon has spoken in their favor. We must decide our path. Asha stood on one side of the central hollow, Salith on the other. I propose a war compact, Asha said. Humans, Helions, Kark, Sarati, Vron, and any others who wish to stand. A shared fleet, shared intel, shared tech, under joint command when facing the wave. Under your command, you mean? The Vron ambassador rumbled. Under the command of whoever is best suited for each battle, Asha said. Sometimes that will be us. Sometimes you. We have no interest in ruling your empires. We barely finished ruling ourselves. Soft laughter broke some tension. The Kark representative squirmed. What about wars between us? It asked. Old debts? Tasty grudges? Asha's eyes hardened. You keep those small. Skirmishes, trade wars, propaganda. If you escalate to world burning while the wave moves, we step in. And I promise you, you won't like how. You really think you can police the whole galaxy? The gray-furred merchant scoffed. No, Asha said. We think we can ruin the day of anyone who tries to break it completely. Big difference. The Sarathi's crystal body rang softly. You watched us for millennia, they said. You cataloged our mistakes. Why not intervene earlier? How many worlds did you watch burn? Asha's shoulders sagged. Too many, she said quietly. We debated every century. Some of us wanted to save every planet. Others said we would only become another empire. So we stayed hidden. We waited for the right moment. A threat big enough to make your old patterns unsustainable. And now? The Sarati asked. Asha looked around the chamber. at faces fearfully proud, angrily curious, cautiously hopeful. "Now the moment is here," she said. "The gray wave doesn't care about your borders. If it wins, everything you built, everything we built, is gone. We will not watch that happen." Salith spoke up. "The Dominion will join this compact," she said. "Reluctantly. We do not like being told what we can or cannot burn. But we dislike being eaten by machine dust more." Kark hissed. "Our queens hate you," it said to Asha. "They also hate the wave more. We will send ships." One by one, other powers added their grudging yes. Finally, the chair turned toward a shimmering crystal node in the wall, the physical link to the Pantheon. "Ascended," the chair said. "What say you?" Light flickered. "Acceptable," the Pantheon said. "Cooperation increases survival probabilities. Its pattern matches old protocols." Asha almost smiled. Old protocols. Agreements from a forgotten age. "Will you help?" she asked. "Yes," the Pantheon said. "As before, we provide framework. We do not fight directly. You must learn." The council broke into smaller sessions. Tech teams, war planners, logistics minds. Humans opened some of their files carefully. They shared gravity cage designs, gray wave mind attack code, stealth detection algorithms. In return, they took Hellion energy lensing, Kark biohull tricks, Serati shield harmonics. In shipyards across many worlds, a new kind of fleet began to take shape. Not Hellion, not human, not any single style. Mixed crews, hybrid systems. A galaxy compact. On Earth, watching the feeds, ordinary people felt a strange mix of fear and pride. "Are we in charge now?" a reporter asked Asha in one interview. "No," she said. "We're not kings of the galaxy. We're just the ones who stayed quiet long enough to see the big picture. Now we're part of it. That means we get blamed when things go wrong, and forgotten when they go right. Welcome to adulthood." She smiled a small, tired smile. In a hidden core of the Pantheon, deep in a cluster of black crystals near the galactic center, the ancient machine minds spoke among themselves in patterns too complex for any biological language. "Humans move," one pattern said. "Their choices match predictions." Another replied. "They refused empire, chose arbiter." A third noted. "For now," said a fourth. "They shared old memories. A previous cycle when Earth-birthed minds filled the stars, ruled hard, and fell harder. This time may be different," one pattern suggested. "Or not," another answered. "But they are necessary against the wave." Weighing probabilities, they decided. "We support their role," they agreed. With limits, they would not prevent humans from making mistakes. They would not stop them from hurting others if pushed. They would only refuse to let the cradle fall too soon. After that, history would take its own path. Alien empires had painted that history for ages. Now humans held the brush too. The final battle did not happen near Earth. It happened in the dark between arms, near a dense knot of stars where the gray wave's main mass had chosen to grow. For decades, the compact fleet had fought shadow wars against fragments. Little clouds in backwater systems. Single-star invasions. Human tactics and alien brute force had held the line. But Atlas saw the pattern. "They're gathering," the AI told Asha on the Oort station. "Like storm fronts merging. In 50 years, they will be one superfront. If that happens, we lose. So we hit them first," Asha said. "Where it hurts." Jonas studied the map. "We will have to go outside Pantheon's main coverage. Deep. If we lose there," Asha nodded, "then Earth will stand alone at the end. It's a bad option. We choose the better bad option." The compact fleet assembled. Hellion battle carriers with human gravity cages welded to their sides. Kark bio-dreadnoughts seated with Pantheon-linked crystals. Serati shield barges with human code-hardened cores. And at the heart, a human armada. Black ships, ring stations, mobile gravity wells. The galaxy watched. On 1,000 worlds, people gathered around holos and screens. They saw their species banners, strange and familiar, side by side. At the front of the human armada, on the flagship Aurora's Edge, Captain Elena Russo stood on the bridge. She had aged. Streaks of silver in her hair, lines at her eyes. But her gaze was sharp. Atlas' avatar floated nearby as a sphere of soft light. "You know we might not come back," she said. "We always might not come back," Atlas replied. "That is true for every moment. Humans just feel it more now." She smiled at that. "Send to fleet," she said. "All crews." Her voice went out to millions. "This is Elena Russo of Earth," she said. "We go now to cut out the heart of the thing that eats our stars. Every species here has lost worlds. We all have ghosts. Today, we give them company in the other direction." She paused. "If we win," she said, "remember this. Humans did not do it alone. We learned from your pain. We used your tools. We stood with you. If we lose, remember this too. Earth did not sit and watch this time. We stood with you." She ended the channel. Atlas pulsed softly. "Very moving," it said. "Almost like you humans wrote stories for a living before you took up ships." "Maybe some of us did," she said. They dropped into the wave's core. No star lit this space. Only a dim glow of eaten light. The gray wave's main mass filled it. A dark fog, thick and humming. It reached out at once, tasting energy grids, feeling the warmth of so many reactors. It surged. The first line hit Hellion shields. Energy drained. Armor peeled. Kark biohulls screamed as cells were stripped. Human ships triggered their cages. Space warped again, but this time at a scale no one had dared before. Huge bubbles formed, each a pocket where time and logic flowed differently. The wave poured into them. Inside, time stretched. Outside, the fleet had precious extra seconds. Atlas and the Pantheon worked together for the first time directly. Code attacked code. Machine minds twisted the wave's algorithms, feeding it false target data. It tried to eat its own phantom reflections, buying more time. Human-designed logic bombs exploded inside the wave. Not bombs of fire, but of thought. Paradox loops, unsolvable knots. Parts of the wave's mind froze trying to untangle them. Hellion fusion beams, amplified by Serati lensing, cut through slowed sections. Kark ships, immune to some of the Nanos tricks, rammed dense clusters and self-destructed, sacrificing themselves for gaps. It was still not enough. Even shackled, the wave was vast. It pushed against the cages, learning their shapes. It began to flow around, sending thin tendrils out of the warped zones, probing for soft spots. Some found them. A line of Vron heavy cruisers vanished in seconds. Their armor and crew turned to silent dust. A human destroyer, Resolute Dawn, took a wave stream on its side. Its hull dissolved halfway before Elena's voice cut through local comms. "Vector correction. Spin into it. Open your core. Vent the reactors." The captain of Resolute Dawn understood. In its last seconds, the ship rolled and burned its own heart, unleashing a reactor flare that vaporized the wave tendril and cleared a channel. The ship died. The gap it left let 3 other ships fire. Atlas tracked it all, calculating probabilities faster than any brain could. Even so, some spaces felt like coin flips. "Director Malik asks your status," it told Elena. "Busy," Elena said through gritted teeth. Tell her we're dancing." On Earth, in a great hall built where an old stadium once stood, people watched with held breath. Asha stood with Leah Torres, the astronomer who first spotted strange data years ago. Leah was now head of civilian science for the war effort. "They look so small," Leah whispered, pointing at the tiny light dots of the fleet against the wave's vast shadow. "They looked small when we watched other species fight it too," Asha said. "Scale lies. The mind matters." "Do you think we win?" Leah asked. Asha did not answer right away. Finally, she said, "I think we are the first to fight it with every lesson from every fallen empire in our pockets. That's something." Back at the front, Atlas made a decision. "We need a stronger blow," it said to Elena. "One the wave cannot adapt to in time." "Suggestions?" she asked, eyes on a changing tactical sphere. "The cradle protocol," Atlas said. She froze. "That's meant for emergency use near Earth," she said. "You want to?" "Yes," Atlas said. "Use a star." Near the battle zone, a small, pale star burned quietly. The wave had avoided it, preferring dark space. Atlas had not. For years before this day, tiny human drones had crept into that star's corona, planting seeds, gravity shapers, field manipulators, all hidden. We trigger them, Atlas said. We turn the star into a directional bomb. We shove a piece of its heart into the wave. Combined with our cages and Pantheon's timing, it could wipe the main mass. And everything near it, Elena said. Including a lot of us. Yes, Atlas said. Projected fleet loss, 60%. Remaining wave fragments, negligible. Projected loss without this, eventual total. She laughed once without humor. You always put it so gently. We waited a long time, Atlas said. We built this for a reason. Elena looked at the hollow, at Allied ships burning, at black fog pressing. Do it, she said. I'll tell them. She opened a fleet-wide channel. This is Elena Russo, she said. We have one last move. We're about to make a star angry. When I say run, you run. Point your shields where we tell you. If you stay, you die. If you flee too soon, everyone behind you dies. Some captains shouted questions. Others just nodded. We are humans, she said. We waited and watched while others died to this thing. We're done with that. Today we pay our debt. With interest. She cut off. Atlas, she said. Light it. The quiet star screamed. Human triggers in its corona fired. Magnetic fields twisted into knots, then snapped. A massive coronal mass ejection, shaped by human tech and Pantheon nudges, burst outward, not in all directions but in a narrow cone. Straight into the heart of the gray wave. Inside the cages, time bent. Outside, the flare moved like a wall of white fire. Elena shouted, Run! The fleet obeyed. Ships dove behind pre-calculated shadows, tucked into safe cones, braced shields. Some were too slow. They vanished, turned into spark and ash. The wave had no such shelter. Felt the star's heart hit it like a hammer. Its dust, made for slow feeding, could not handle that much energy that fast. Its logic, already tangled by human and Pantheon code, failed to reroute. It burned. Bits tried to flee. Human cages snapped closed, holding them long enough for Allied beams to follow up. When the light faded, the wave's main mass was gone. Silence fell. Elena's ship drifted, hull scorched, systems flickering. Status? She croaked. Atlas took a moment unusual for it. Gray wave. 99.9% destroyed, it said. Remaining traces below self-replication threshold. Fleet status. Heavy losses. But alive. Cheers, sobs, and exhausted laughs filled 1,000 ships. In the council chamber, in alien homes, in human cities, people watching the delayed feed cried out. They had expected to see an armada vanish. Instead, they saw a star turned into a weapon by a small species that had spent ages watching and learning. Years later, people would argue about that day. Some said humans were monsters for throwing a star like a bomb. Some said they were saviors. Most agreed on one thing. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Alien empires would rise again. Some would fall. Wars would still happen. Deals would still be broken. The Pantheon would still watch. But now, in every war room and council hall, there would always be a quiet question. What is Earth doing? On a hill overlooking a rebuilt city, Asha Malik sat with Leah Torres and a group of children. The kids looked up at the sky, where tiny twinkles marked distant stations. Is it over? One asked. For now, Asha said. The big outside monster is gone. We still have inside problems. We always will. Why didn't we help earlier? Another child asked. When the other empires were dying? Asha thought for a long time. Because we were afraid, she said at last. Afraid of becoming tyrants. Afraid of being broken. Afraid of repeating old mistakes we barely remember. So we watched. We waited. Maybe too long. Maybe not. History will decide that long after we're gone. She smiled softly. But when it mattered most, she said. We moved. Remember that. You are part of a species that can wait for 10,000 years and then act in 10 seconds. That is our power, our curse, and our gift. She pointed at the stars. Alien empires rose and fell, she said. Earth just kept watching and waiting. Now the galaxy knows. When we finally stand, we do not stand small. Far above, in a Pantheon node, an ancient machine mind watched humanity and updated its models. Apex species, it tagged them now. In bold.